Welcome back to the Forensic Detailing channel. Do not forget to subscribe. Today we're going to be delving in, look at this camera work, we're going to be delving in to the land of controversial. This is a product that you're either going to hate if you're a cynic, or you're going to love if you're enthusiastic to detailing products. This is Angel Wax Atomic Shampoo. I thought it was also called Dark Star. Oh yeah, look. Tucked away at the top there, Dark Star. You could make that a bit better, bigger lettering. What's it say down there? 10th anniversary edition. 10 years anniversary. They must have been going longer than that, Angel Wax. Maybe not. Yeah, 10 years. That's pretty cool. So if you don't know about Angel Wax, Scottish brand, very cool. A brand that I've featured quite a lot of the products on my channel over the years because I think they're really, really good. How do they fare? Well, they've won a few of my shootout comparisons. For example, my glass sealant, the H2Go, you can see hiding away back there, won. They also won my single stage cut and finish abrasive test because I think it was called Regenerate, single stage cut and finish, was really good quality, but it was considerably, really considerably cheaper than some of the other products, like, you know, like Perfect Finish was up there at like 45 quid a litre. And I think this was like 15 or 20 quid a litre or something. And it seemed to be virtually as good, maybe even better. So it won. They've also lost or come very last in some of my comparison products. Like the citrus I didn't think was great. The citrus could have been better. It could have been more potent, I think. And I'm sure some of the other products, you know, have been lower order. So they've won some, they've not won some. They've never moaned, which I love. And I will always continue to look at Angel Wax products where they have a USP. So the reason I'm interested in reviewing this Atomic shampoo is because it's different. So my little YouTuber head always looks at stuff that's different. I'm drawn to views as a YouTuber, like a fly to dog poo. So I figure that if I delve into the controversial, there might be a chance of getting more views than if it was just a normal shampoo. I think there will be. I could also ham up the title a little bit, you know. Not ceramic, we've done ceramic, graphene shampoo, the future of detailing. Always gets people's interest perked. So there's a little foreword on it. So what is Dark Star? So this is a graphene infused shampoo. When I first saw this product on the shelves at Pro Detailers, I said to Bert, what the hell's this? I thought it was like a sealant or something because it had no label on it, just like a black bottle. And he said it's a graphene shampoo. And I said, oh right, cool, so it's a bit like a ceramic shampoo, is it? You wash your car with it and it leaves some graphene behind, your car's all beady because it's got some material on there, you know, so it's a bit like a ceramic shampoo for protection. No, not John. It's not. The graphene that's in there is not there to bond to the paintwork. It's not. There's no like siloxane in there or wax or anything clever that the graphene is you know mixed in with that stays behind. The graphene is there purely as a thing to prevent marring and scratching on your paint. Okay, so the graphene that's in here does not stay on the car after you've rinsed off the product, and it's purely there because it prevents marring and scratching. Okay, let's just consider a couple of things here because this is a review. So we're gonna appease all the cynics, and I'm a cynic. You know, my brain can be a bit negative and cynical, but I like that side of me. So the first thing I'm cynical about is we know graphene costs a lot of money, and this product costs £23.95 for 500 ml. And the graphene in there, when you're using it like in a sealant, you don't mind paying all that money because you feel like you're getting your glow-in-the-dark kryptonite graphene doing some sort of clever thing on your paintwork, and it's worth the money. With this product, you're washing it away after you've used it. So almost like want to scoop up all the water and stick it back in the bucket and pour it back in the thing so you don't waste your graphene. That's the first thing. The second thing that my cynical brain picks up on Graphene shampoo to prevent marring and scratching. I think that's actually what it says, word for word. Let's have a look. Has been formulated for the protection. Oh no, okay, that's something else. Yeah. Right, this shampoo has been formulated to prevent marring and scratching while washing your vehicle. That's what it says. Okay, verbatim. Formulated to prevent marring and scratching. Does that mean that a non-graphene shampoo does not prevent marring and scratching? That's what my cynical brain reads. So the use of the graphene prevents, that means stops marring and scratching. So therefore a normal shampoo, that implies it doesn't, or else this would serve no purpose. Okay, so that means, you can't have your cake and eat it. If this prevents marring and scratching, I'm repeating yourself, then normal car shampoos are not as good as this. Okay, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? That's the $1 million question. Can it really do that? Or is that just a blurb? Now, I also want to talk about the technical side of graphene. Let's get some light coming through here so we can actually read this. The technical bit, for all those of you that love the technical aspect of Angel Wax products, and Angel Wax formulate in-house, which is another reason they're really interesting. So they can go and do stuff like this and play around with products because of their chemist, and John Hogg can go and try stuff and make stuff and get stuff out there quicker than other companies. And you can play around, which is great. So graphene is an allotrope, I've got no idea what that means, of carbon, which consists of a single layer of atoms. So far that information is not of any use to me. And its properties derive from its unusual structure in which carbon atoms are bonded together in a hexagonal pattern, like atomic scale chicken wire. Okay, again, right, well, let's just finish this off. These bonds, however, hover halfway between single and double bonds. This writing's quite hard to read. This makes them so strong that it is almost impossible to make a variation in the lattice. Yeah, I mean, that sounds great, but what does that mean? The beauty of graphene is its versatility. Well, it lends itself to a myriad of applications. That doesn't really mean anything to me. This is the reason why Angel Wax are using graphene in every product within the Dark Star range. Okay, fair play. But those properties of graphene about making this chicken wire lattice that's incredibly strong imply that if you're putting this on your car, you've got a chicken wire lattice of graphene that's incredibly strong. But the problem is you're not putting a layer of graphene that's formed on your car. You're putting a micronized powder dispersion of graphene over your car. So that layer of graphene that's in this liquid, and it will get diluted down with water, is not going to form a bulletproof chicken wire lattice. And it wouldn't, even if you put it in a protective product, because again, it's a micronized dispersion. So you're reliant on whatever it's dispersed in to hold it. So that's whenever you're using micronized powder. You know what I mean? So if you had two chunks of the graphene and you held them together, they're not drawn to each other, they're just chunks. So it's like holding two pebbles next to each other. If you put those pebbles into a bucket of cement and the cement sets, you've got two pebbles in there. When that cement erodes away, eventually those pebbles will fall out and you'll have little holes in their place. So that's kind of like how I understand micronized powders to work. Now, that doesn't mean that it's completely useless, the graphene. It doesn't mean it's completely useless when it's a micronized powder, or you could replace graphene with silica, micronized powder or fumed silica, which can be in detailing products, because that solid has, that material has properties, and that property with graphene might be the ability, slickness. It's not a hydrophobic material, so adding graphene to protective car products lowers the hydrophobicity. We've covered a lot of this. Angel Wax, in fact, were involved. They sent 3 waxes off to pro detailers. One, a base formulation wax and solvent and oil. Next, the same base formulation, but with some silica material, in fact ceramic material, and it was proper ceramic coating, not any fumed silica. It was ceramic coating they'd mixed in there with it, or ceramic, not a ceramic coating, but a material that's the backbone of most ceramic materials. We talked about that before as well. I'm probably losing people here rapidly. And the third one, they put a dispersion of graphene in, and they sent these out, loads of these samples out, and pro detailers sent them out to people to see if they could spot the difference. Now, I love saying this, I managed to spot the difference. I knew which one was which, and I did, but I kind of worked it out because I've played around with some of these things, and I could smell the ceramic a little bit in the ceramic-y one. It felt a bit weird, like Angel Wax Enigma, had a slight sliminess to it. And I could also see a bit of the low friction in the graphene and the ceramic one. I ended up managing to guess which ones were which. Funny enough, people say, all these materials that you put into waxes or sealants, if they're ceramic sealants or ceramic waxes, or graphene waxes, graphene sealants. Some people say, well, it's all BS. And he swore there, it's all BS. Those people that are saying that don't really know. They don't really know. Unless you've got these materials and you've played around with them and you've done some sort of testing on them to see if there's any advantages. Unless you've kind of walked that path, you don't really know, and you're just guessing. There's so much information being put out on graphene, like everyone's an expert. The only expert is people that know how to make detailing products, want to try to get this material in, look at the properties of that material on the data sheet, see what it could add, play around with putting it in there and do some proper testing and see if there's any benefits. At the moment, most of the benefits you could say are anecdotal, hearsay. What I will say on the benefits, I know this is turning out to be a very long discussion, but this is what this channel is all about. That's what it's all about, this channel, isn't it? Delving in because we care. For me, there's some slight benefits, but there's some slight disadvantages. The disadvantages can be the loss of hydrophobicity, but the main disadvantage of graphene is it's the inclusion of a very expensive material for perhaps negligible or tiny benefits that you can't really, the layman's user won't be able to identify, apart from the fact that there'll be a big graphene word on the label to let you know it's got graphene in it, and you're going to pay for it. So there we go. There's everything. You understand how I feel about graphene now in a nutshell. But here's the thing. If Angel Wax had released a new product and there was no graphene in it, it was Angel Wax Atomic Shampoo, and it just said, this is our new formulation shampoo. It's designed to be rich, thick foam, and give you a great experience and nice and slippy to reduce marring, then it would be the same as any other shampoo that I've read and reviewed in the last 10 years. That's what they all say. I've got one here. I'm going to review this. DIY Detail, Incredible Suds. That's a normal shampoo, effectively, but it's meant to be really sudsy, so who knows? That's the problem. And if they hadn't have done that, made a graphene shampoo, and it was just a normal shampoo, I wouldn't be bothered in reviewing it because there's no legs in it as a review, you know what I mean? It's just the way of the world. Now, let's crack on. How do you use this stuff? And we're going to carry on criticising. Here I've got half a bucket, about 10 litres of tepid water. So it's got some warm tap water in it and some cold. It's tepid, not baking hot, not freezing cold. Now, what they say is you must take 2 capfuls of this product, put it in your half bucket, which is great, and then fill the rest up with either a hose pipe or a pressure washer to foam it up. We'll use a hose pipe because it's a stiffer challenge. Now, here's another bit of criticism. You're saying 2 capfuls. Okay, fine. But you've got a cap that that squeegees, you know, it squeebs out. So what's a capful? So I have to follow these instructions to the letter. So I have to use 2 capfuls of the cap that comes with it, which isn't designed to be done like that. So where I'm going with this is I much prefer it, especially from detailing brands, if they tell me how much to use. Tell me how much to use and there's no confusion. So on the label, we recommend you would use 50 millilitres to 10 litres of water. You say that, there's zero confusion. You tell me to use a capful. Okay, you might be thinking you're being really pedantic here. Let me just shake it. But what's a capful? Especially when you've got one of these caps that's not designed to be fill up with liquid. This is going to be thick. It's going to be messy. Wow, it's like black ink. Look at that. So there's 1 capful. And what I'm going to do is put this into the bucket. You end up getting it all over your fingers. We'll put that in the bucketto. Make sure we've got it all out. We'll do another capful. We're going to do all this live so you get to really experience this product. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Come on. There we go. Second capful. In there. Okay. Sound like Gordon Ramsay. 3 eggs, okay? Now, I want to know how much 2 capfuls is, because that's the kind of guy I am. So let's just have a look. What's this like if you get it on your hands? It's a bit like, you see that? Is graphene. Do I need to glove up because I'm going to be absorbing the graphene, the kryptonite, the glowing graphene? No, I'll go with no. I'll wash my hands off. So there's 1. There's 2. Let's just clean that cap out. Okay, we've given it a good shake as well. So again, from opening it all up, you end up with loads of shampoo all over the bloody bottle. Pardon my French. Don't swear in videos. The algorithms will punish me. So you end up with shampoo everywhere. That's another reason I don't like doing that. But there you go. How much is 2 capfuls? Well, I would say that is halfway between, that's about 10 mil. Isn't it? 2 capfuls, 10 mil of product, roughly. So, that bucket has 10 litres in it. Okay? But it then says to continue filling. So we'll fill it up to there, because that's a good line. You'd never fill the bucket right the way to the top, would you? Come on, come with me. Beautiful day. God, lovely. Oh, yes, beautiful. She busted my hose. Oh, put the hose in. I keep breaking these. I'm hoping this Draper one is going to actually last. It feels quite solid. So here we go. Oh, it's got no lock on it. Has it got a lock on it? Oh, maybe that's the lock. If that is, that's terrible. Oh, that is the lock. No, that's why it's cheap. That lock is rubbish. Oh, hello. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't you poo in my bucket. What are you doing? Lola. Oh, Wiggly Bums. Where are you going? Where are you going? Oh, Wiggly Bums. Oh, Wiggly Bums. Where are you going? Hello, you. Hello. Hello. What are you doing? Oh, no. I've got shampoo on my fingers. Right. Let's see how rich this is. That's up to the normal level. There, it's a good... Something like that. Right. Let's take this back. You going to help us? You going to help us? Mummy will be back in a minute. Right. Let's plonk this down here. Let's get one of my things. What are you doing? Get out my bucket. You do not want to be washing yourself in there. Go on, outside, I'm filming. Outside, you wiggly bums, go on. Outside. Outside, Lola. She not listen. Like my missus. Right, let's have a look at this. Right, what do you think, Lola? See, to me, no, don't do that. Outside. To me, let's just make sure. Right, outside, please. Right, I'm going to have to take you. Come on then. Good girl, good girl. I'll come play with you in a minute, I promise. Outside, go on. Good girl, go on. Outside, good girl. I'll be back. To me, so if I'd jet washed this up, I'd get a little bit more froth, but the foam is quite thin. I think it describes the foam that you're going to get in the bucket as like lush. It's not that foamy, and I can tell you now, even if I try and collect up that foam, there, when we go into the panel, yeah, it's just not, well, it's not too bad actually. I mean, I'm not really one of these guys that cares too much about foam. I'm really not. But I'll just quote you the words it says, and then I picked up most of the suds when I did that. So if I just went in there, I'm not doing a very good job, I don't know, a bit of a lousy wash technique. But it's not, I wouldn't describe that as rich. Describe that as, you know, some normal suds there. For the amount that we've used, so we've used about 10 mil to 15 litres, which is a very low concentration, you know, of product. That's a good thing, isn't it? 10 to 15 litres, that would be 1 to 1500, roughly. So I'd never expect any shampoo that I use at 1 to 1500 to be really foamy. But let's read what it says, because we're testing the product against what it's saying here. Yeah, here, so shake the bottle well, we did that. Add 2 capfuls of shampoo to half a bucket of tepid water, which we did. Then using a hose pipe or pressure washer, which is what we did, agitate the water while continuing to fill the bucket to create a lush, rich foam. Well, I'd just say creates a bit of foam. I bet you if you doubled the amount of product, which wouldn't be excessive, it would work. You'd get a lot more. You'd get a lot more. Yeah, so that's okay. It's okay. But we'll use it exactly as instructed. When you sometimes use too much shampoo, you know, you over concentrate because you want that lovely, you want foam everywhere. You can end up with like filming problems, especially if you're doing it outside. And you don't rinse it off with a pressure washer and really get it dry quickly. You know, you rinse it and it looks good when you're rinsing it with the pressure washer. And it looks like you've got the detergent off, but sometimes you haven't. And then when the car, if that liquid is allowed to dry before you buff it, you can get like a white film. Usually happens when you over concentrate and don't rinse well enough. But yeah, that happens to everyone, doesn't it? It's happened to me before. To be really careful with that built hamber one. Do not over concentrate that, because if you do, you can get that white film. So some of the high concentrates, you've got to be very careful. This isn't blowing me away with the amount of suds. In fact, I think a lot of you, I nearly said me, I've got to be careful because I don't really care about how sudsy it is. But I think a lot of you will want more suds, and as I'm using those suds off the top, it's becoming more and more kind of watery for me. I do have very hard water, but everybody does, don't they? Tell me someone that doesn't have hard water in the UK. Everyone will say, I got the hardest water. No, mine's harder. No, mine's the hardest. When you don't pre-wash, didn't really need pre-washing, but when you don't get any free cleaning. So if you miss any bits on the panel, it can look like you've cleaned that whole door, but if you've missed any bits, when it dries, you see the little triangle of dirt or something. That's the worst. That's another reason why a good pre-wash always helps. So we've seen what it's like normally. I feel like I want to up the concentration. So, another thing, does this feel to me any slidey than any other shampoo? Like, it does feel quite slick, but I just don't know. I'll be guessing. There is no scientific test that you can do to measure the lubricity of a surfactant, according to people I've spoken to anyway. So there's all sorts of tests for various things, but there's no existing test. You might be able to make one up, but I don't know how accurate it'd be. So when anyone talks about shampoo and says, oh, this shampoo, it's the slickest I've ever used, you're only guessing. You're only guessing unless you can test them. It does feel slick though. I don't know if it's the slickest I've ever used, but it does feel really slick. Could be to do, that just feels, yeah. It does feel slick. I don't know. It's quite interesting. Yeah, it does feel a lot, I don't say a lot, but it feels really slidey. Just wondering if that's just normal, because sometimes with these pure soaps, they can feel a bit kind of squeaky and a bit not that slick. It really does feel like it's got like something in it. The other thing to consider is how much graphene is in this product. How much graphene? Let's say, so we've got 500 ml of product. I don't think it's going to be 10% graphene, which would be 50 ml. That'd be excessive. I think it's more likely to be about 2.5%, 3%, 4%, 5%. So maybe 25, let's say 25 ml of graphene. So when you use 10 ml of product, what's that? Is that 0.25 of a ml of graphene? It must be, yeah, something like that. So 0.25 of a ml of graphene goes into that bucket. Is that right? 10 ml of product is a tenth. No, it's not. It's something, oh, God knows. It's hardly any graphene when you mix the water in with it. So the amount of graphene in each swipe is going to be relatively low, isn't it? So the graphene can't be that high. I'm just getting all my thoughts here. What I'm going to do right now is just take this and we're going to double the amount of graphene. We're going to go nuclear, up in the graphene. Captain, if we push it that hard, the engines will blow. I don't care, Scotty. How soluble is that? It's like something out of a Marvel movie. It's not that soluble, is it? It's a good roughing up. That's interesting. That solubility. Sometimes when a shampoo isn't really easily soluble, that could make it more prone to residue later on. But so let's actually put a bit more dark colour in there. Another thing that's going through my head is all of this blackness. Is all of this blackness really just pigment, or is it just the graphene? Because you'd want it to be the graphene, wouldn't you? You wouldn't want them putting any black pigment in there because you'd feel robbed. Now it's starting to get richer. You'd expect that is more like what I'd want. I haven't blasted it up, but I can just feel it's getting a bit kind of slicker. Yeah, a bit more sudsy. That's better. Yeah, I like it like that. So, yeah, look at that. That's just where I want to be with it, and it'll carry on sudding up. I could have put all that solution into here, and then it would have been really nice. So my findings are probably if you use 20 ml per bucket, you'll get better results than 2 of the capfuls that come with it, in my opinion. That's kind of where it should be. And that's why I really think it's important. Like for me, give me a PIR with a, give me a PIR or give me a ratio, and there is zero confusion. Whenever, even if you said use 30 ml per bucket, some people use tiny buckets, some people use really big 25 ml buckets, some people use plasterers buckets. So give me a ratio, and then there can't be any confusion. Even if you said to me it's 1 to 100, well, okay, 1 to 100. So that's 1 ml per 100 ml. So that's 10 ml per litre. So that's 100 ml per 10 litres. And I can just work it out from there in my head. If you can't work out from a PIR or a ratio how much to use, then I'm sorry. If I was selling detailing products and I said to you, yeah, use this about 1,500 to 1, and you came back and said, well, how much is that? I wouldn't reply to you. Sorry, it's going to upset some people. Because, go and Google it if you can't work that out. And if you can't work it out after Googling it, then I ain't going to waste my time. I'm kidding. I'm on a rant here. What am I ranting? I don't even have a detailing brand. Anyway, I've seen enough for the time being. What I want to do is just rinse this down. What I'm going to do is just finish. I need to wash the entire car properly. So I'll just put this on time lapse and I'll be back. You get the idea. Stupid music, B-roll, Doug. Okay guys, I am back, no problems encountered, product rinsed off the car really well, it's dried now and I haven't missed any bits and it looks good, so it's done its job cleaning it, which is more down to me than the product, but fair play, no problems encountered at all. Some conclusionary points and we'll end this video. Cost of this product is £23.95, £24 roughly for 500 ml. Using 2 capfuls, which we calculated is around 10 ml, that gives a cost of around 48p per wash. The average cost per wash of automotive shampoos is around 28 to 30p per wash based on a big test I did a few years ago where I calculated that. So 28 to 30p roughly. And the maximum cost per wash in that test was about £1.10 or something per wash, roughly. Forgive me, but that was, I think, the Maguire's Gold class where you have to use a lot more of it. Okay, however, at 10 millilitres, this product is not foamy, it's not lush. When you start getting to 20 millilitres per bucket, and beyond possibly, which I think is probably more accurate, you start getting thicker foam, you start feeling the slide a little bit more, a little bit, maybe, just feeling the sliminess of the shampoo, because I said you can't really gauge that, but we'll come back to that in a second. But that would give it an approximate cost of 96p per wash plus, which puts it right on the upper end of cost per wash that you will encounter, but not beyond the Maguire's Gold class because of the amount you use. Interesting. Yeah, so 10 ml per wash is a bit optimistic, really, and I don't like that calculation. I've already talked about that. Now, this is a shampoo over here I've never even used, this Incredible Suds that we'll look at later on. This gets you to use 2 to 3 ounces in your wash bucket. Well, an ounce, an American ounce, you know, why they use that measurement, ounces. The only people that use ounces as measurement are drug dealers. Sorry. 3 ounces is 90 ml. So potentially you could use 90 ml of that per wash versus 10 ml of that per wash if you're following the instructions. So 9 times as much to get those Incredible Suds. That's more typically, in my experience, you tend to have to use quite a lot of shampoo if you want it really thick. You don't need to, by the way. Foam does not provide the lubricity, and foam is not a measure of cleaning power. It's just a measure of foam. And if shampoos don't foam, it's not really a problem. But especially in the American markets, if you have a shampoo that doesn't foam, no one's going to go near it. So this will be more accepted in the UK, I think. The Americans won't like it for its foaming levels and the fact it's not snow foam lance friendly. You know, you go chucking like this in the snow foam lance, you'll blast through it. Yeah, it's not a pre-wash anyway. So there's some important things. Right, now we'll go to the final conclusions, okay? So I've done every cynical attack on this product that I can think of. Let me just do some positives here. So two positives. One, I love the fact that this is a graphene-based, unique shampoo, and it's different. And even if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I'd have gone and bought this just to try it because I love detailing and I like trying new products and all that. Just a bit, because I've been doing this for a long time, I'm just a bit battle weary. So I can be a bit cynical because I've seen everything. But I do love the fact they've done something different here, you know, and without companies trying things like this, we'll just all have virtually the same products that have no unique selling points. The second thing is fair play. I talked about you can't measure slickness, but it felt slick to me. I don't know if that's, I just don't know, but it felt really slick, really good. So maybe there's something there with the graphene, or maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just normal. I don't know. The negatives, the cost per wash is exceptionally high, as I've said, really, to use it. It's not lush as stated if you use it as at their concentration ratio. Their measurement system could be made a lot more accurate, which they'll say is not that important. But I think to get the right user experience, you actually need to dose higher than they're telling you to dose, I believe. And the dosage guidelines are a little bit vague. I never like capfuls. My second negative is I'd love for a company, when they go and introduce this sort of stuff, if you're really confident that it's good, and I know this costs money, but go and get it independently tested. Independently tested, so you can actually, for the people buying it, you can say, look, we had this independently tested and this is the benefits. How would you independently test this? Well, the only way I can think of is you'd get a new car, get like a new Hyundai that's black because the paint's really good. Make sure it's got good flawless paint, and they should have if it's a Hyundai. When you wash the car for the next year, don't pre-wash it, just get 2 buckets, one bucket here with the graphene shampoo, one bucket on the other side with a normal shampoo, just a plain shampoo. Use the same wash mitts, not the same one, but the same type of wash mitts. So you have 2, one in each bucket. Wash one half with the angel wax graphene, the other half with the normal shampoo. You're not aiming to just wash it normally, consistently. Use your mitt for each different side, etc. And then look at the paintwork in a year's time and see if there's a difference. That's how you'd independently test it. And the more cars you could do in that method, the better. You'd struggle to do lab style testing, I think, to try and separate if there's any benefits to marring and all that with these products. I don't know. Maybe you could do some lab style testing, but I would do that test that I just described and record the results. You could take a bonnet that's perfected, tape it off, put a dirt simulated film over it, and then do the 50-50 clean with the angel wax, clean with another product, repeat that process 100 times because it's controlled, and see if the simulated dirt, you know, like a bucket of mud that you put on there and let it dry and then wash it off, etc. Something that's going to potentially scratch. So you can see a difference in the scratching. If it had that independent testing from a respected source, then you'd be a lot more inclined to buy it, wouldn't you? Yeah, that's my thoughts. So that's it on Angel Wax Atomic Shampoo. Interesting. Unique. I don't know of any other graphene shampoo. Someone will probably tell me there's another one, but I've not heard of one. It's the first graphene shampoo I've had. And it goes like this. If you're cynical, you'll have resonated with a lot of the points that I've made in this video, and you'll dismiss this, and you'll never buy it anyway. So it won't matter. And that's fine. That's not me having a go at you. That's just some people are like that. I've got a bit of that in me as well. If you're positive towards detailing, you see this, you'll get excited and you'll want to try it. And you probably would have bought this anyway, no matter what I say. I've given you all the information that you need to really know to make a decision. If you still love detailing, want to try something different, give this a whirl. It's not actually that expensive. A quick layman's tour, it's probably twice the cost per wash of most other shampoos, maybe a bit more if you really use it. And the price of buying it is very high, isn't it? Most shampoos are like 10 to 15 pounds, maybe a bit more, I don't know. There you go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Forensics Detailing channel. if you know of any unique products like this that you want me to test, it's got to have a USP. It's got to be unique. You know, put it in the comments what it is and why, and I'll probably have a look. And I've got a good instinct for what's an interesting product and what isn't. So don't, you know, put your mate's brand. It's got a great detail spray, because I'm not interested in the greatest respect. I'm interested for stuff that is really unique. That's what I'm interested in. So take care. See you later. Adios. Doug.